Ties. Why do I like wearing ties? I don't know. I don't know. Let's find that out. We're both wearing ties. Why do you like wearing
Yeah.
ties, Sir Aiden Charming?
For me, a tie feels powerful. Honestly,
Yeah.
it gives a level of sophistication, and I personally think that sophistication is sexy, and I want to wear what makes me feel sexy. Plus, a tie can work casually or it can be formal, depending on how you style it.
Well said. Well said. My name is Nicholas Tannick, and I'm here with Sir Aiden Charming. We're adults. We're kinksters. This is a lifestyle. This is a culture. Uh, we we're law-abiding, tax-paying citizens. We're doing something constructive. We're part of the solution, not part of the problem. Ladies and gentlemen, everything we say is between consenting adults. We're adults. This is a lifestyle. Don't judge. Don't judge. That's why you're alone. There's a loneliness epidemic in this country, and it's because of judgy people like you. Let's have some fun. Open your mind. Be cool. Be kind. Keep an open mind. Everybody, this is your kinky. Sir Aiden Charming. We're going to talk about fireplace. Oh, it's going to get warm. It's going to get warm. It's going to get warm. I love this.
It's definitely going to get hot.
I am so stoked. I am so stoked to be talking to Sir Aiden Charming now. All right. There are many reasons why I am very excited to talk to this gentleman. First of all, he's a muse, inspiration. You see this person on Instagram and Twitter, and on FetLife, whatever. Pictures are amazing. The life is amazing.
You're gonna make me blush already.
His story is incredible. I mean, this is here at your Kinky Friends, Nicholas Tannick, as a voice of the kink community, as a journalist. I want to capture the real people. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Sir Aiden Charming. Please, we're going to talk about fireplace. We're going to talk about female to male transition, but we're going to talk about being a professional switch. Let's talk about being a professional switch. And we're going to talk about our kinky friends. Sir Aiden Charming, welcome.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm happy that you're here. Seriously, it is a beautiful day of 2025. Please go to yourkinkyfriends.com. Get 15% off all inventory at Locked and Lust. Oh, I spelled it wrong. LockedandLust.com was off the point. So let's just get into it. Sir Aiden, what's inspiring you these days?
Honestly, seeing growth within the kink community and seeing new people coming up. Because I love going out to events and seeing the different ways that people are playing. It's awe-inspiring. Like when you go to a kink event, you never know who's going to be playing, what they're going to be doing, and not everyone plays the same. So being able to see different styles from my own is definitely inspiring. You can pick up a lot from just watching people play.
Every time I go to a dungeon, even if I'm in a bad mood, even if all this, there's always chaos in my life, right? But
I mean, life is chaotic in general.
I feel so centered, and the most that it's seeing the other people doing things right in front of you, in the now, right? Being as creative and kinky as possible is incredibly inspiring. So let's get into your introduction and your background. You are a professional dom, sub, and a switch. Now, I usually, a lot of my friends are professional doms, female doms, or male to female doms, and they all do the femdom role. Let's say, you switch it up, like me. You switch it up. Different, so awesome, innovative.
Why choose just one side?
Yes. We are complicated individuals. How did you become a professional, offering both dom, sub, and switch sessions?
Well, a big part of that is how so I actually started as a client of the local commercial dungeon. It's called the Den of Indominus. It's in Phoenix, Arizona. And I started booking sessions there. So originally back in 2022, I believe, We're gonna go into a whole origin story right now.
Please.
So
please do.
In like when I was 22 many years ago, because I'm now 30, I started getting curious about BDSM. So I went to the internet and found a website called Adult Friend Finder, which, disclaimer, please don't do what I did because this part is incredibly unsafe. I found someone on Adult Friend Finder and he said he was a dom. So I went to his house and probably should have looked into him more before doing that, but we learn as we grow. And I had a bit of a traumatic experience there. So I was like, I'm never doing this again. If this is what BDSM is, I don't want any part of it. But the Netflix show came out called Bonding. And yes. I watched it. I was like, there are professionals who do this, and I can just pay them and have a safe, comfortable experience with someone who's trained on this. So I started like Googling Phoenix BDSM dungeon or like professional dungeon, and I found the Den of Indictment. So on my 26th birthday, literally on the day of my 26th birthday, I booked a session with one of their mistresses, and I loved it so much. The environment was, well, not only incredibly kinky, but it was a safe environment. I felt so comfortable doing those activities with her, and I kept booking sessions and exploring my submissive side. And somewhere along the way, I discovered that I might not actually be a submissive, that I might be a switch. So I started talking with one of the doms at the dungeon who had become a friend of mine. And she was like, yeah, you should like tap into that. You should learn skills, train on it. You could like work here one day. And I misinterpreted what she meant by work there. So
what did you think of that?
Well, I approached the headmistress and I asked her, like, can I work here? And she offered me 3 different positions. This is headmistress Portia Lynn that we're talking about right now. She said, yeah, I have opener, closer. So like opening the dungeon, closing the dungeon, which would be a bit sporadic. I have receptionist, and I have my personal assistant. So I began working as the personal assistant to the headmistress. And I told my dom friend, I was like, hey, I work at the dungeon now. And she's like, oh, great. We can do like sessions together. I was like, no, I'm Portia's personal assistant. She's like, that's not what I meant. But I'm kind of grateful that I did have that experience as the personal assistant because it kept me in that environment. Like I was saying earlier, you do learn a lot from watching and listening and hearing how they talked about sessions. That gave me the sort of like comfort as well as the push that I needed to go up to the headmistress and be like, hey, Portia, I would like to work here as a dom. And I had a whole internal debate on if I was going to hide being a switch and just advertise dominance, or if I was going to be a professional switch. And not only advertise both, but show my submissive side publicly. And I know that there are some femdoms who are switches in their personal lives, but they only advertise their dominant side because they feel that their dominance might get invalidated if they show their submissive side. I didn't want to hide any part of me, because how I feel about myself within BDSM in general is when I'm in that space, when I'm in either like a session or the BDSM community at like an event or a munch, I want to show my most authentic self. And if I were to advertise only dominance and only show that side of myself on like my social medias, I wouldn't be authentically me. So going from a client to personal assistant to the headmistress to eventually being like, hey, I would like to work here is
I fully understand
how that began.
I mean, it's like being yourself. I had to write a book and get a fake name to become myself. Like, you know what I mean? That whole process of the kink community, of you become yourself by playing a role. You know what I mean? In the kink community, which is Fascinating subject. So I want to get back to dom, sub, and switch sessions. So let me ask you this: as a professional sub, what was one of the sessions that really stick out in your mind, either good or bad? The one that like you'll never ever forget, the one that just stays with you as a professional sub.
I would say the one time I was booked by Portia Lynn herself.
Really? Please tell us about
Yeah,
that.
that astounded me. So keep in mind, like with me starting as a client, playing with her is something I would have paid for a year ago before that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So she, I was in the dungeon being her personal assistant, and I was already on the Den website at that point. And she came up to me and she was like, "Hey, Aiden, I'm going to have a group of sex therapists come to the dungeon for a tour. Because if you're a sex therapist, at some point you're bound to have a client. It's like, yeah, I go see femdoms, I go to a dungeon, I like pay for dominatrix sessions." So she wanted these sex therapists to know exactly what that looks like. So she wanted to not only show them what the space looked like, she wanted them to see BDSM as in like a kink demo. So she asked if I would let her hire me to submit to her in front of these sex therapists. And I gladly said yes.
And what happened in this session in front of these sex therapists?
So after they got a tour of the dungeon, Portia grabbed some rope, explained what she was doing, and she tied. She did a tie around my hands and bound me to this this big cage in the center of the room. And I don't believe she blindfolded me, but she did comment on the fact that I wasn't going to be able to see them because my back was to them with my positioning.
Yeah.
And she explained the implements that she was going to use and did a bit of impact play. And then she untied the part of the rope that was connected to the cage, but she left my hands bound and had me kneel in front of her and explained essentially slave positioning, how the emotion and connection behind someone kneeling to someone, and how that even while my hands were bound, I still was able to like express different aspects of submission with my, like, for instance, my like hands being lower could be the sign of reverence, or holding my hands up higher while bound could be like either an attentive thing or a praise or worship to the dominant. And then she also gave a tutorial on how to use floggers, and with my consent, let the sex therapists use the floggers on me after she instructed them on how to use them safely. So not only were they seeing this, they were actually able to try it too.
That is absolutely beautiful. I'm seeing pictures in my mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but now you're also a professional dom. So you went there
Yes.
as a submissive, and I know a lot of people who are in similar roles. I'm in a similar role too. I'm a switch myself. But before I get to the switch question, what was it like doming out professionally for the first time? Because you entered this world as a submissive, right? And like it's in, like, trust me, as a fellow person who loves the submissive nature of it's in your core, right? I feel it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I get great pride in serving well. You know what I mean? So
I do as well.
so what was it like? You're finally out of that box, and you have a client, a professional client. You have to now. This is not like a personal thing. This is a money thing now. How does that change? How do you approach that? And what was it like?
It was very intimidating at first, because looked within and I was like, I'm now doing something that I have admired so many people for doing.
Yeah.
And I I definitely looked a lot at what the client was requesting, and this wasn't a random client. It was actually someone I knew. It was someone who found who I'm friends with on Facebook, and I know him in like, we're not close, like super close personally, but I'm aware of him. I've seen him in the LGBT community, and he found my professional Instagram after knowing me on Facebook, and he was like, "You actually like do this?" And I was like, I do, yeah. He didn't know at the time that he was my first ever client, and requests were within the skill set that I had at that point, because I had been training with one of the DOMs from the dungeon, as well as lifestyle service top. And I thought it was such a beautiful experience.
Really?
Honestly, like, I had never felt that kind of energy exchange from the dominant side before. And also, I was very intentional about how I went about every aspect of that session, right down to which room of the dungeon that I picked. Because the first ever session I had booked as a submissive of the submissive client of that dungeon was in this like gorgeous purple room with stunning black furniture that it's called the immersion room. And since that was the room that I had my first ever session as a submissive, I wanted that specific room for my first ever session as a dominant. So we were in that room, and it was beautiful. I loved like getting to impact with him, but also not just like, it's not just hitting people is what I realized. There's emotion that goes into impact play. And something that I didn't expect to have like a deeply internal emotional reaction to was being worshipped. Because I know how I feel inside when I'm worshiping a dominant, but I didn't know what it would feel like to have someone on their knees in front of me worshiping me.
That brings me to this next question. You pretty much answered it, but let's just expand on it, just because the important part of this, of you and me as well. What does being a switch mean to you personally? I know I shouldn't.
To me, it means you're good. To me, being a switch means fluidity. It means being able to tap into multiple facets of yourself. Because I do believe that everyone, regardless of if they tap into it, does have a duality to them. I believe that people have a dominant side as well as a submissive side to them, whether they choose to tap into one or the other, or whether like they have a natural inclination towards one as opposed to the other. I believe that it's within everyone. It said everyone has a masculine and a feminine within them.
You know what? I'm taking this moment right now, this episode right now, to go tell everybody out there, why not today switch? You're usually, if you've been dominant, why don't you just why not switch it up just for today? The rest of it, you can always switch back. That's the beauty of it, right?
Yeah,
do it. So I'm calling. Why
even if it's not
switch,
even if it's not doing like activities as headspace.
Oh, you cut up. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Which part did it cut out at?
Yeah, it's okay. Here, I'm very curious about Phoenix, Arizona. I've got some friends in Phoenix. Shout out to Phoenix, Arizona. Shout out to Arizona, and also specifically Mistress Claudia, Tempe, Arizona. She's helping out animals, like real animals, and kink pups too. You know, puppies and stuff, but like actual like doggies. Shout out to everybody in Arizona. So let me ask you this: how would you describe the kink scene in Arizona? What words would you use to describe the kink scene?
I would say diverse, honestly. With the Phoenix kink community, there are so many people who do a variety of different things. Like, I've seen people who like love medical play specifically. There's a strong like rigor community from what I've seen. There's a growing interest in electro play in the Phoenix community from what I've noted. There's so many different activities that I've seen at kink parties, and I love that there's that level of variety within the kinds of play that the Phoenix kink community is interested in.
What inspired you to keep it in Phoenix as opposed to branching off to somewhere else?
By branching off to somewhere else, do you mean like touring and like visiting
Tempe? Do you mean Tempe, Arizona, or I don't know, San Francisco, or Texas, or New York, or just going somewhere else? What kept you in Phoenix? What inspired you to really create your Dom persona? Was it the dungeon itself? Like, would you have done it without that dungeon?
I probably would have done it without the dungeon itself. I don't see myself as a like specific to that dungeon, especially since I'm now an independent switch, as opposed to in the past I used to be a staff provider at the Den of Indominus.
Mm-hmm.
For me, honestly, it's a bit personal why I stay in Phoenix. Phoenix is my home, and I have been nervous to travel. So I
don't blame you at all.
Well, yeah, even before recent, before recent, without going too political, before recent political developments, I still had a hesitation about travel, because before my trip to DomCon New Orleans 2024, the only reason I felt it. Before DomCon 2024 in New Orleans, before I made that trip, I had never traveled without my family. I'd never like left the state without the comfort of having my family with me. And after I did that trip, I felt a confidence to be like, okay, I've done this without my family. Now I can travel alone. Because with DomCon 2024 in New Orleans, I had the comfort of having my mistress with me. And come DomCon LA 2025, she was unable to go with me. So I was like, okay, this is going to be my first time traveling alone. And I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic experience, but I am like incredibly nervous. And so I made it so that I had to do that trip. I applied to teach a class at DomCon LA 2025. And with that being advertised on the DomCon website, it gave me the push I need to finally travel alone. And so I am open to considering touring in the future. I just wasn't at a point emotionally and like mentally to have a comfort to travel alone.
I think YCAP should do a tour, have a big crew of people, and that'd be part of it. That'd be fun. Let's talk about this.
Honestly, it does sound fun.
Yeah, doesn't it? Come on, let's get the buzz going. Let's continue on. How do you navigate discussions about gender and identity with your clients?
Honestly, not many clients have asked me about that.
Really?
I'm always open to discussions about gender and identity if they're brought up. I don't like to bring it up myself in person just because I don't want to be seen as like pushing it on people. I also don't want to have that be like, I don't want my gender identity to be a personality trait. I don't want it to like be the only thing that's associated with me. So while I have it on my website and my social media, because I want people to be informed that like, hey, if you do book me, you are booking someone who is transgender. But
now, even in the kink,
there was a time that.
I'm sorry. There was a time.
Well, there was only one time that a client ever asked me anything relating to gender and identity, and it was a session that was kind of like an overlapping session with another dom, and so I was to be in the session for 45 minutes with the client alone. And then the last 15 of my hour that I was booked was shared with another dom, a femdom. And so that shared 15 minutes was the start of her 1 hour with the client. And so he essentially booked two doms with an overlapping 15 minutes. And while I was doing my consultation with him before the session started, he asked me, what parts do you have? And I took a second to realize, to contemplate how I was going to answer this. And so I just told him the same as Dom Pardone, which was the other Dom he had booked. And after that, we just went about the session.
Now, even in the kink community, there is there's prejudice. I mean, I'm seeing it more and more, unfortunately, because the more people I talk to, the more people, you know. So, what are some misconceptions that clients may have about anybody in the who are trans and BDSM and a BDSM professional? Because there are a lot out there, and honestly, many of them are my friends, right? And I want to like clear stuff up. I want to make it helpful to everybody. So, what are some misconceptions?
I feel like a misconception that might be had about booking a trans BDSM professional is that there would be any difference from if you had booked a cisgender man for your session. I know that there are going to be like differences in people's comfort level, because I've had clients, especially some clients who are women, tell me that they felt more comfortable having a session with me as opposed to a cisgender man in a dominant position. But other than people's comfort level with the fact that I am trans, there's no difference between if you were to book me or like another dominant man.
Yeah.
Or a submissive man, since I offer both.
All right. Let's
Plus,
light it up.
With BDSM, like my genitals are never shown. Nobody is interacting with me sexually, so me being trans does not affect any sort of play.
Like I said, let's light it up, and I'm not talking about the topic matter or the heaviness of it or anything like that. I'm talking about fire play.
Yes.
You are known
so much.
as, what are you known as? Do you have
the fire guy?
The fire guy. Yeah. But fireman. The fire guy charming. Fire. Oh my God. All right. Something about fire. I know there are a bunch of pyros out there. I see you.
Clearly, you're talking to one.
Well, I mean, okay. I remember there's this kid named Alex who I used to hang out with down the street, and he used to just a lot of money. I'm sorry, family stuff. Had a gambling problem later, but it was always nice. It was a cool guy. But one thing he did, what I thought was this is say a little quirky, was he'd sit in the backyard and just like start a fire and just start burning stuff, and it would get dangerous, and then he'd slow it down. And I'm like, one day that kid's gonna burn down his house. He never did. Well, that I know of yet. I mean, he moved out. But there's something about fire that is fascinating. It burns. It destroys completely, and then yet, like a phoenix rising from it. A lot of my friend Kit made a painting of me, like as a phoenix rising from the ashes after I got out of my liver transplant. Right. And I'm trying, fire and water specifically, it inspires, let's put it this way, every cell in your body, warmth. So what inspired you to explore fire play, and how did you earn the title Fire Guy?
So what inspired me to start learning fire play and start getting into that was I was at this kink swinger party at a Phoenix location called the Goddess's House, which they are pausing parties because the owner of it, a friend of mine, Goddess Aya, is moving houses. But they had kink and swinger parties, and one of the times that I went there was this man who was offering kink tastings, and I was like, okay, this could be fun. And one of the things on his sign-up sheet was fire. And I was like, what is going to be done with this fire? I was so intrigued. And he, since no one had selected that option from him yet, I was curious enough to where I was like, I want to try it. Can you explain like what you're going to be doing with this fire? And it ended up being fire massage.
Fire massage?
Yes. Which one of those pictures you pulled up on my website shows a fire massage? That one, yes.
That one, okay. Fire massage. So tell us what. I love massages. I love giving massages. I love getting massages.
Same.
Please, for those who don't know what a fire massage is, can you just give us a little more detail? I'm going to take myself out.
So fire massage, I liken the sensation to a kinky heating pad. It does look a bit scary because there's a live fire on a towel barrier on someone, but it's honestly a very relaxing form of play. So you take a towel that has been dampened with water and you place it on someone's body. I'm not going to go into the entirety of the specifics of how to go about fire massage safely and how to actually do it, because I do teach classes on this. But essentially, it's a damp towel that is lit on fire. And while a lot of people just kind of like stand back and watch the fire go until the bottom says like, hey, it's getting too warm, I like to continue adding sensation and reach my hands in. Like reaching my hands into the fire to keep that connection. And it's such a good feeling to have that warmth on your body as well as the weight of the blanket. But what a lot of people don't realize is the best feeling within the experience of a fire massage is once the fire is put out. Not because like the heat gets taken away, because when you put the fire out for fire massage, the heat stays. That heat's not going anywhere for a bit. And what I like to do, and what the man who taught me how to do fire massage, which was the same man from that party, do is to press on the towel once that fire is out to get that heat into your muscles, into your body. And it's such a comforting feeling, not just the warmth from it, but the pressure and the connection with the person giving that fire massage. And it's also really good if you have back pain, like not if it's like skeletal back pain, but if you have muscular back pain, it's honestly a very relieving feeling as well. Like there would be times where I'd message the guy that taught me fire massage and be like, hey, my back's really hurting. Can you please give me a fire massage? Or I'd look forward to seeing him at parties for that reason.
The wheels are turning in my head already. Nico Noir, the magnificent, legendary Nico Noir.
Hello, Nico Noir.
Not to talk about your money, but how do you price differentiate? How does your prices differentiate pricing? X for the amount of dom, Y for the amount of sub, and also tell Porsche Nico Noir says hello and I love her forever. So it's a very good question. Do you charge differently for doming as a versus sub sessions?
I do actually. So I do a bit of an upcharge for professional submission sessions. And the reason for that being is I feel that professional submission requires more trust because you're letting someone that you don't know, that you don't have an established trust with, do these activities that they're requesting, and you don't know their experience level. With professional submission, my apologies, with like booking a dom for a session, you can verify that this person is experienced. You can where have I seen you? Where did you get your training from? With someone booking you for professional submission, you don't know if this person is trained on these activities they're wanting to do. So because it requires a higher level of trust on my end, I do upcharge for it. And also I will tell Portia that Nico Noir says hello.
Oh, please do. Nico, I love you, Nico. Nico's amazing. All right, back to fireplay.
Yes.
Where are we at fireplay? Can you explain?
Just a moment. I do have like a throat tickle real quick.
No worries.
Sorry about that.
No worries. No worries. Can you, that's what this show is all about, being real, right? I don't edit anything. even the speaking songs played live, right? It's the way Kink is, right? Things happen, right?
Exactly.
All right, so can you explain?
Real.
Yeah, right on. Can you explain what fire play involves and what makes it a unique practice in the kink world? I mean, you pretty much did, but just before we get into the safety protocols, you know, for the people who don't know.
Well, with fire play, there are like multiple different ways you can go about it, from like fire massage to fire cupping to like fire fleshing with fire wands to like something I love to do is butane bubbles. There's a variety of things you can do with fire. It doesn't have to be directly on someone's skin, but it also can be on someone's skin. And I love that you can get creative with it. See, that would be that picture right there with me on top of the bottom for that photo shoot. I love that it shows variety with what fire play. And something about it is it does require a high level of trust, because like fire is incredibly dangerous. And why I prioritize like safety with fire above, like obviously with anything in BDSM, you should prioritize safety. What I think sets fire from so many other forms of play is that a lot of forms of kink play are putting the bottom at risk, and only the bottom is at risk. With fire play specifically, everyone involved is at risk.
Everyone.
Like
not just the people in the scene. I mean, like the people next door, the people, the people down the street can be, affected by, not thinking clearly, right?
Yeah.
So safety.
Like if something goes wrong in a fireplace scene, an entire building can burn down.
Right now, yeah, I know, yeah. So yes, so what are some of the, and be obvious too, for people who don't know nothing about fire play, please be obvious. What are some of the safety protocols?
Well, something that I use across all forms of fire play that I do is nonverbal safe words. Because a lot of the times when I do fire play, it's at events. I've actually not been booked for private fire play yet, but I'm always open to that. So when, since this is going to be in the context of at kink events, for safety, I always go over nonverbal safe words with the bottom, because with the high risk of fire play, if that fire goes, keeps burning for even just like 15-30 seconds longer than it should, that's going to cause damage. Not like the fun kind of hurt, like actual damage. And so I need to be able to hear the bottom clearly with the communication.
What are some examples of non-verbal safe words? What are some like the solid examples of non-verbal safe words?
Non-verbal safe words, the ones that I use most often are either having the submissive like tap on me, like tact.
Okay.
You need to put your fire out. Or I'll use an example from a demonstration I did on the Erotic World stage at Phoenix Pride 2023. There was music going. There was so many like visual stimulations because I was not the only dominant on that stage. We had about 4 dom sub pairings. And
that was so cool.
It was. There's videos on my socials about this too. So like there was me doing fire play, both fire massage and then eventually butane bubbles. When off to my like front left was my mistress Vonna X doing like latex sensory with the bottom that she had, and off to my right was Mistress Gia doing flogging and wax play with the incredible like Ava Venom as her bottom. And there was like visual stimulation from all of that happening around me. Plus there was music going. There was, we had an MC speaking on a mic at the same time. There was no way that I was going to hear if he had safe worded or when he had safe worded. So I had him hold my hand the entire time. And when, especially with the fire massage part, because that fire keeps going until the bottom says that it is too much. It's not something that I like, because everyone has different tolerances for heat. And since I was going to be lighting that fire for the fire massage repeatedly, I had him hold it and squeeze it as hard as he could when he needed that fire to go out.
Now, I, as a writer, I'm always looking for symbolism and meaning behind everything, even though everything means nothing. I embrace the absurdity, but still, all right. But let's just find
everything means nothing until you give it meaning.
Yeah, right. So, what for you? What are the psychological and emotional aspects of fire play?
I would say at the bare essential of it would be connection, because of the trust that it builds an emotional connection with the person you're doing. And honestly, another thing I love about fire play is it can go a variety of different ways psychologically. You can use fire for a fear play. You can use fire for a sensual session. It has the capability to be used a variety of different ways. So psychologically, it can be whatever you make it. I've had like fire play where it's been deeply sensual and connected with the bottom. I've had fire play that was just silly, like the time that.
Tell us about silly fire play.
So
whimsical fire play.
It was very whimsical, which my friend Brooke absolutely loves to use the word whimsical.
I love that word. Serengeti, noodle arm whimsy.
Yes. So something whimsical and silly that I've done with fire play is I used who I've nicknamed my emotional support twink. He's a very lovely bottom. I love my emotional support twink. He's fabulous.
Yeah.
And I made him into a human campfire. I believe that everyone needs everyone needs an emotional
human campfire.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you said a human campfire.
Oh no, like we're getting there. The whimsy of the fire play was I made him into a human campfire.
How do you make someone into a human campfire?
So I did a fire massage setup. So I had a dry towel. I dampened a towel. I placed them on him, and I actually used the video of this during my class on fire play at and I grabbed I layered the towel so that I could have the fire on there longer. So the more towels you have, the longer it takes the heat to get to that body. And since I wanted this campfire and I wanted to be able to like roast marshmallows on him, I wanted it to be able to have that fire for a while. And so I lit the fire, and we were in a quiet room alone so that if he needs a safe word, I didn't need my hands or I didn't need him to do anything non-clearly. And I grabbed a skewer with some marshmallows on it and just roasted them over on his body.
This is a first for YKF. Thank you very much, Sir Aiden Charming, for that.
I'm glad that I
Colonel
Musso
is back. Emotional support twink.
Yes, my emotional support twink.
Thank you very much. Oh, we have some comments. Let's break it up with some comments. Arroyo Valadez says, loving topics of intersectionality and mentorship have been in the mix. Awesome. People are loving the show. People are loving you.
I'm so glad.
I'm tired of cleaning stuff up for ignorant folks. It's not our job to babysit them. Sunshine says, Sir Aiden, Mr. Aiden Charming, I love that you pushed yourself to do something uncomfortable by going to Dom.com alone 2025.
That was
Bravo.
Hard for me too. Yeah. I honestly was genuinely terrified to do that trip because of the fact that I had never traveled. Portia is a fucking legend.
Nico Noir, Portia is a fucking legend. Sunshine, love that you're showing your authentic self. So beautiful, so healthy. Switch is rock. She is definitely a switch.
Yes,
I absolutely love.
We love the switch representation.
Being with switch, so it's like, oh, it's like having something, anything you want on the menu. It's great.
Exactly. It's a build your own adventure full of whimsy.
Nico Noir, to quote Depeche Mode, it's only when I lose myself to someone else that I find myself. Thank you.
I love that.
Everybody. Please keep it coming. Let's get back to the questions. I gotta find them now. Safety protocols. All right, psychological stuff, safety. What are some misconceptions about fire play?
I think
you're going to hell.
I do get a. Well, I'm Jewish, so I don't actually believe in hell. But the biggest misconception that I get asked about commonly is, can you do fire with body hair? A lot of people have like the impression that if you have a bunch of body hair, you can't have fire on you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not true. Fire, like body hair, doesn't affect how you can experience, or fire can be experienced if you have body hair. It only affects how you go about the fire play. I put fire directly on people's bare torsos with a bunch of body hair and not burnt their body hair. And I have there's videos of this on my Instagram and Twitter as well.
Because I have really hairy legs, like really hairy legs. I'm wearing stockings right now, and I can see the hair through the black. So I feel like I'm gonna burn up then in flames. You know what I mean? So let me ask you this: as the fire guy, how do you balance the theatrical flair of fire and keeping it safe? Because you have to. That's a balance. That's a balance.
That is, yeah.
You're walking a tightrope, you know. So how do you do that?
For me, I focus entirely on the safety and how I'm going about the fire play technique wise, because I personally feel that fire play in itself is theatrical on its own.
Yeah.
Like the only things that I might do to add like a theatrical flair is if I'm like on a stage doing a fire play performance, I might like raise my like hands a bit higher when I light my butane bubbles and place it on the bottom. But other than very like small adjustments to add a bit more theatricality, I feel that fire play in itself is theatrical.
Now, education is a major part of the BDSM community.
Absolutely.
Classes. Do you teach classes?
I do, yes.
So what lessons do you teach?
For me, I teach anything within my skill set that people ask me for. So if someone emails me and says like, hey, I'd like to learn how to do like needle play, for example, I'd be more than happy to like do an educational session on needle play because that's within my skill set. More often than not, I do end up teaching on fire because that's what people usually want to learn from me.
It is definitely a unique skill. But let me ask you this. All right. I'm going to throw the questions out for a second. Let's say you can't, let's say it's 100% illegal to do fire play. You can never, let's say, you know what I mean? You can never use fire play again. What fetish, what skill, what kink would you fall back on? What specialty? Excuse me.
I would say
medical play? All right. Yes. Let's talk. Shout out to Stan Vladimir. Stan Vladimir loves medical play. So,
I absolutely love medical play.
Being in the hospital, being in and out of the hospital for like years, like, surgeries. It's just, let's just say I have a new appreciation for medical play, And I did take some things, some gloves and some tubes or whatever. Just you gotta.
What'd you do?
Those hospitals cost money.
Mm-hmm. Might as well get your money's worth and have a bit of fun.
Let me ask you this: you've been in the lifestyle and you've been a professional for a while, and you've seen like being to event DomCom, being a part of a dungeon. That's a special bond. Being a part of a dungeon is something. Shout out to Mischief Manor, Mr. Shari at Mischief Manor. I admit she changed my life. She saved my life in many ways. And if it wasn't for her, I would not be here sitting in right where I am right now. Sunshine would not be producing the show. I hold the dungeon lifestyle very close to my heart. It's magical. It truly is. Then in these magical moments, you see rewarding moments. You know what I mean? So not just in a dungeon, maybe but just in your life, in the kink community. What's been your most rewarding moment so far as a professional?
I would say being booked by a client who has never experienced a kink session before, because that is such a precious moment, getting to show them like, this is the world that you've heard about, and here you have the like freedom to be your authentic self and explore these things that you've not had the like either means or connection to explore in a safe way. And seeing that, like the change in their body language when they get that comfort and are experiencing these activities that they've wanted to experience for so long, but haven't found a safe person to do it with yet. Or maybe like, like not just physical safety, but like emotional safety is
emotional safety, mental safety. Yes, of course. Yeah. And that connection, safety really is the basis for everything. And that leads me to inclusivity. All right. So you have the scene in Phoenix. We have the scene in Jersey, right? You like there are those subcultures within the subcultures of kink here, you know, which is great. Like there are little parties, there are ABDL parties, there are leather parties, you know, swinger, you name it, you know. Not every place has that. Not every place has the diversity that we have, that we are very fortunate, very lucky to have. So let me ask you this. What advice would you give to others in the LGBTQ plus community who are curious about exploring kink but may feel hesitant, especially if they're not in a metropolitan area?
I would say research who you're exploring it with. I'd say find out if they like, regardless of if it's a lifestyle person or if it's a BDSM professional, research that person heavily, because you can tell by their online interactions, in my experience at least, if they're going to be friendly towards the LGBT community. And when I booked my first session, I personally didn't know if the Dom I was booking was going to be comfortable with a trans man client. I asked the receptionist at the dungeon, and she said that, like, yes, she is going to be. But honestly, I didn't know because I didn't do that research. Thankfully, she was, especially since I personally did not have top surgery at the point of having my first session. So I definitely understand that it would be scary trying that out for the first time, especially for the LGBT community, not knowing if that person you're about to play with is going to be accepting of you, like the entirety of you, not just like what you're showing up with. So I would definitely say research before you play. Find some way to find comfort in a person to play with. And honestly, exploration is exactly. You can find a lot through you can learn a lot through online interactions, whether it's messaging the person directly or examining their posts. Like a lot of people post pictures of people they play with.
Yeah, and there's a tone to people's conversations. You could tell what the way they text and they post these days. These days now,
exactly,
we communicate through texting and through what people's posts, and you could tell. You almost could hear their voice when they write, you know. And if do you want to listen to that voice?
Plus, with like,
so I hear one question I ask really, and I mean that's what the whole episode is. I ask, "How have you evolved, Sir Aiden Charming, through the kink community?" Yeah, well, that's what the show is about. Forget that. How has the kink community evolved? You've been through a lot. You've evolved. I mean, you made quite an evolution. Your character arc is
definitely evolved.
Yeah, but how the community, the BDSM community changes. I mean, there are some normal things that are, I mean, standards, like evergreen things in the kink community, like never waste the dom's time. That's an evergreen thing, right?
Yeah.
But like certain things have. How do you think the BDSM community evolved over the years? What changes? What do you think?
Which first I do want to comment on the like never waste a dom's time thing.
Yeah,
I feel that could be extended a bit. Never waste a dom's time without compensating them. Because like I'm perfectly fine if people waste my time as long as they're paying me for it.
Good point. Yeah. Yeah. Good point. But and that's kind of sad though, because like now it shouldn't be waste your time on anything. Like no one's above money, but it's like now with the zeitgeist of the world today, everything's about money. We need money. So how has the community evolved over the years? For you, in your opinion, you've seen it change. You know, the older you get, like how do you?
Yeah, I do. How I feel the kink community has evolved is I feel like more people are becoming comfortable with exploring it. Because when I started going to kink events in Phoenix, more often than not, I was the only, well, you obviously can't tell by looks 100% of the time, but my perception was I was the only trans person at this party. And as the years have gone like by, I've seen more trans people going to kink events, being active in the community. I've seen like more people being openly like queer at these events. I've seen more diversity in the people that are going to these events. I feel like it's going in a good direction. There definitely is always room for improvement, and I also have seen a lot of changes in how kink events are priced because of this increase in diversity in who attends these kink events. Like,
how do you think it affects the price?
Well, I've seen the pricing for various kink events be like males pay this, females either free or a lot lower price. But what I'm seeing as a change is males paying a certain price and females, trans, and non-binary paying an own price, having that inclusivity in pricing. While I personally don't agree with pricing based on sex or gender, I'm glad to see that there's an increasing inclusivity with that. I've noticed that the phrasing of that, if events choose to have pricing based on sex or gender, something that I've seen change is the phrasing of it. I used to see like males pay one price, females pay another.
Yeah.
That I sometimes don't know where I fit in with that pricing.
Because, understood. I always viewed it this way. I accepted it like it's a femdom world. Men have to pay up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, let's move it. Let's keep it light. New games, names. All right. The magnificent Nico Noir. I love Nico Noir. You know, we're talking about we're compiling a bunch of names on that DOMs have of their subs in their phones. They have they don't put their real names in their phone. They give them nicknames a lot.
I do that
for
too.
example, asshole
like
James, dystopian James. Yeah, emotion. There you go. So you're gonna play this game well, probably. So we have this is blah, blah, from the phone. Asshole James, dystopian James, hosiery James, Starbucks James. And it just keeps on going on. Right? So do you have any names for your subs, or in this case, or other DOMs or switches? Do you have any names for them? Names in your phone, maybe? Or just names that you call them, pet names?
I know that in my phone I have MedVet Slave, just because that's entirely what MedVet Slave, like medical.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay,
slave. Yes. Literally his entire interest, plus the way he talks to me over text, it has that slave mentality. He never leaves the fantasy, so that's why I'm just okay, this is MedVet Slave. I have emotional support twink. I have some of my dom friends I have nicknames for in there, like Lady Vi. I have her in my phone as Madam Satan.
Shout out to Lady Vi. Yes, she is amazing. Are you still there? Or did you freeze? I think Aiden might have froze. Aiden, if you freeze, come out and come back in. Everybody, please go to
for a sec.
Aiden, you're back.
I think it's back. Yeah,
everything's back. Okay.
Sorry,
wonderful.
I'm not sure what happened there.
It happens. Hey, the Kink community stuff happens. Problems are solvable. Okay, what about names for toys? Do you have any names for your toys? Impact play toys, dildos, ball crushers, or whatever.
So while I personally don't, I'm going to share a name one of my friends has for one of her toys.
Okay.
So we all know her and love her, Mistress Ms. Madison.
All right.
She has this toy that is absolutely phenomenal. I've personally experienced it myself, and she calls it the Soul Sucker 5000.
Oh, wow. Shout out to Ms. Madison. Shout out to Ms. Madison.
I love
She's
Ms.
helped me out with the
Madison.
YKF marketplace. I got to connect with her on that one. Yes, Ms. Madison. We just did an interview about the Kink Mafia. That's another person, incredibly inspiring, doing her thing, getting other people involved. We got to keep the money in the community. You know what I mean?
Which, speaking of
right,
the Alphabet Mafia of King, since real quick, since she mentioned that on the last time she was here, she's hosting the Alphabet Mafia of Kink Prevents the Gender Expansive Experience in Vegas in October. Yes.
We promoted it on the show. I'm very excited about that. That's awesome.
And I want to piggyback off of her promotion of it because she has formatted it so wonderfully, in my opinion, with it being an intimate, small intimate convention of a maximum of 150 people that she's going to cook real food for. She's going to make a bunch of tacos, both carnivore tacos, vegan tacos, vegetarian tacos, and her tacos are amazing. I've personally tasted them. Highly recommend. But also, instead of having a wide variety of classes, like an overwhelming amount of classes to choose from, she is choosing one presenter to teach one class that everyone can attend. And for the first iteration of the Kink, the Alphabet Mafia of Kink presents the Gender Expansive Experience, that first presenter will be me teaching on Fireplay in Vegas in October.
It warms my heart. It really does. Love seeing people doing their thing. All right.
Yes.
Rapid fire kink advice. All right. Rapid fire kink advice. Okay. It's probably not going to go rapid fire, but let's try anyway. All right.
Let's try.
You strain someone you strain someone up and their arm goes numb. What do you do?
It would depend on how they're restrained, but my immediate reaction would be to grab their finger and squeeze on it to check the capillary refill to see how much oxygen is getting to their limbs. Slide a couple fingers under the rope to make sure that there's enough space and ask them, do you want me to release it? I personally don't do a lot of bondage with rope being what is around the limb. I prefer to use a cuff with a rope tying it to a hard point. But yeah, I would say release the rope a bit, check the cap refill, have them move their fingers around to get that circulation going. Maybe increase the physical connection by squeezing on them. But the main focus for me is getting the oxygen back. Yeah.
I like to say I like the cuff too, as opposed to just tying the ropes together because don't get me wrong, I like that too. But there's there's an official capacity when a cuff is involved. It's you're not
Plus,
in the wood tying up
lock on that.
Yeah, there's a lock on it. You're officially locked. You know what I mean? All right. Rapid fire kink advice. You're doing wax play and a candle falls over, starts a little fire. What do you do?
I put that fire out immediately. Without hesitation, I would take my hand and just smack that fire out.
Okay. All right. See that I should have reworded it. How do you put it out?
All right, with my hands.
A friend of yours, not a good friend, someone you know in the kink community. They met someone online and wants to give them all their money. What do you tell them? Some stranger online.
I would ask them why. I would get them to think further about why they're wanting to do this. Maybe prompt conversation about it. What about them is making you want to give them all your money? What have they done that makes you feel that they deserve to have all of your money? Get them thinking, see if that's something that they actually want to do or if it's just a spur of the moment impulse.
Okay. All right. A sub is getting into a Nazi fetish. What do you do?
I would one, I would ask why, especially because like as a Jewish man, this is a very interesting fetish for me. It's not something I do, but I'd ask them why, and if they genuinely internally feel that that is a strong fetish for them, I would tell them to go about it delicately when asking people to fulfill that fetish for them, whether it's like in the lifestyle or if it's booking a pro, since it is a very delicate topic. I would let them know that that's not something that they're going to find easily, in my like personal opinion. I don't believe in discouraging anyone's kinks if it's not like an unconsensual thing or a safety risk. So I wouldn't discourage this hypothetical Nazi fetish. I would just say be careful in your approach about it.
Yes, I am. YCAP does not support the Nazi fetish. Your kink is your kink. Go on.
Sir Aiden Charming also not support it, but I won't discourage it.
Yeah, that's the yes, exactly. You worded it perfectly. Yeah. Thank you very much. All right, a dom, is talking about robbing a fellow kinky person. What do you do?
Well, first I would ask them, is this a like pre-negotiated like robbery role play, or is this you wanting to actually just like steal their money without their consent? And if it's the second one, I would honestly I would sit them down and be like, let's consider other options for this. Yeah. Robbery is, it's not something that should be considered.
Now, this is this next one. This is the
it's not
final
ethical.
One. Yes, this next one. All right, I know what you're gonna say, but like I'm hesitating.
You know what I'm gonna say?
To ask this one. All right, a sub keeps on talking about a plan to murder a CEO of a large healthcare company in New York City, and that 4 o'clock.
Louis Mangiani's a sub now.
Yeah, what do you do?
I would honestly highly recommend that they speak to a mental health professional about this, because murder is incredibly serious and it's never something to consider, in my personal opinion. If they genuinely, yeah.
Yeah, let's switch it up. That's a fair.
Let's get away from murder topics and Nazi topics.
We talked about the funny. I was going to ask you what was the funniest, most expected you've had working as a pro dom. We did the fire thing, what silly fire play. What about other things? Anything that like, really funny or unexpected moments that like will stay with you for now? That at least enough for you to talk about it on the show.
I don't have a funny moment from my professional career. I do have a funny moment from one of the sessions that I personally booked.
That's cool.
So it was with a session I booked with an incredible dom named Mistress Dana. She has since retired, I believe. But we were in session, and towards the end of the session, she allowed me to do body worship. And in this particular case, it was ass worship, because I had booked her like multiple times at that point. She had enough comfort with me to allow me to do that with her. And so she got on her hands and knees on this this bondage table that was in the room with us. I got behind her and she like lifted her skirt for me to worship her ass. And the song that played at that particular moment was this like metal song. I don't know what it's called, but the lyrics were like, SIMP, I want you to worship me. And I was like, did you plan this?
Yeah.
Because that is absolutely perfect. We just started laughing. And honestly, the funny moments always come with the music. For me, there was a time I was in session. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Speaking of music, what music do you tend to choose? Do you tend to choose, or do they choose it?
More often than not, I usually don't play music in sessions. Sometimes, like, I do have a playlist if I, like, really do want music. But a lot of the times, I feel like music can take away from an experience if it's not adding to it. So if it's, like, an impact session, I will play music because that adds to not only my rhythm, but it adds to the emotion within the scene. So I'll go for like electronica music, goth music.
Yes.
Sometimes if it's
Arroyo,
very
Goddess Arroyo, who did my theme song, she kind of termed it vampire music because a lot of those kinky people like
yes.
vampire music. Gotta do that. All right. Would
like
you
for
rather?
medical sessions, I'll play like classical music.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Would you rather?
Yeah.
You can play a little game. You have to choose one. You can't choose.
So I
you
have
can't
to
choose
choose one.
You have to.
I can't choose
one.
neither.
You can't choose. All right.
Okay.
All right. If you're having a session, now. I could do a dom session or a sub session. Would it rather be all psychological or all physical?
If I'm doming, physical. If I'm subbing, psychological.
Okay. What about all right, you have a session. Would you rather experiment with new kink or just do the standards?
Standards. I will only try new kinks if it's with someone I'm comfortable with outside of a financial exchange.
Smart move. Smart. Okay. Would you rather a detailed planned session or a spontaneous session where anything goes?
Honestly, spontaneous.
All right.
We love a whimsical session.
Would you rather sensory deprivation, that includes blindfolds, earplugs, or sensory overload, feathers, ice, hot wax, music?
Honestly, sensory deprivation. Because like while sensory overload is like great physically, having your senses taken away heightens every other thing. Like if my sight's taken away, every sound, right down to like the click of the heels as the dom walks towards me, is heightened. Right down to their breath as they're close to you. Honestly, sensory deprivation can lead to an internal overload because of how heightened everything else becomes.
Stan Vladimir asks, if you could have any superpower, what would it be and how would you use it in your kinky life?
If I could have a superpower, I would want to be able to teleport.
All right.
And I would use that just to mess with people. Like outside of my personal life, I would want to teleport to travel or like go to work and not pay gas prices. For my kinky life, I would use it to like get errands done for my mistress faster because I could just like teleport there, grab what she needs, teleport to her. Or
I'm gonna start this new question. I don't know. You have a sense of humor, so I'm gambling on this. This can go completely wrong. This could be a dud. Totally be a dud. You never know.
So you are in favor of trying new things.
If you could create a kink themed Olympic event, what would it be?
That'd be interesting. Think on that for a second. I know that I would want there to be some sort of pain involved, but I would also want it to be funny. Like I'd want it to be a high level endurance test of what that person can take, but I'd want it to have humor. I don't know what exactly it would be, but that's what energy I would want coming from it.
Nice. All right. Red Gastello says educated, funny, and hot. We love Sir Aiden Charming. Sunshine asks, Sir Aiden Charming, how do you vet your clients?
So how I vet my clients is with my session application. I have a bunch of questions, all of which I feel are necessary. As well as at the bottom of my session application form, there's a place to put a picture of you holding your legal ID. And I want people holding their legal ID. They can edit out the address. I don't care about the address. I'm looking for the age and the legal name. And I also run that through a background check. So I do background check everyone that has a session with me, regardless of if they're booking me as a dominant or a submissive, just so I have an idea of what level of safety I'm about to walk into.
Okay, one word answer for this next one.
Okay.
Sadism. Why?
Entertainment.
All right. When was the last time you were really impressed by sadism, either yours or someone else's? What was it?
For me, it was when I had a client book, and he was not a submissive. He was a SAM, so a smart-ass masochist. and he was in the Spanko community. And he told me that he wanted to get the most severe paddling I could ever give someone. Now, this was an older gentleman, so I wanted to make sure that he wasn't like talking out of his ass in that fantasy headspace, being like, "Oh, I just want you to give me the most severe you can do." Like, I told him, "I need you to send me pictures of previous beatings so that I know how hard I can go with you." And so he did show me that. So I went incredibly hard, an hour of entirely paddling.
An hour
his
of paddling.
ass was dripping blood at the end of it. And he gave consent for me to post pictures of this. The pictures are on my FetLife somewhere. But
I mean, he had it with pride.
I was so proud of that.
Yeah.
So he wanted to go as far as blood too. So that was a goal of his. He brought his own tarp. He brought his own paddles so that I could get blood on them, because wooden paddles are not going to have blood come out easily, especially since wood is a very porous material. So he brought his own paddles. He brought a tarp to have laid down so I didn't have to worry about blood getting on the dungeon floor. And I just went to town on his ass after like maybe 10 minutes of warm up, because from those pictures, I saw that he could take that. And the moment his ass started bleeding, I was just impressed. Not only that I got him to that point, but that he was taking it so
it's
exponentially
wild, right?
well, especially for an older gentleman. He must have been in his like late 60s, early 70s. And when his ass started bleeding, I kept going.
Nightmarishly, like the human ass is like has endurance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, let's move it on. Sissification. Do you get sissification clients? People want to?
I've never had one.
You never had.
I've interacted with sissies at kink events. I love sissies. I love the idea of sissy clients.
Aiden Charming needs some new clients. Yes,
let me give you a makeover. Let me make you my pretty princess. Let me make you my good little slut. Like I would love a sissy client.
Get some sissy clients.
As long as the sissification is gone about respectfully to women, because that can go very misogynistically very quickly. I would love a sissy client, but not if the reason they want the sissification is because they feel that it would be degrading to be in women's clothing. Like there's nothing degrading about.
That goes to the next question. Mischief Manor, Mr. Shard, Mischief Manor and I, Sunshine and I, we're trying to change that narrative. You could explore the whole sissification narrative, the feminization narrative, without humiliation, degradation, or you know, losing respect for any kind of womanhood and all. You know, it's fabric. That's what Cherry, two bombs from conversations with crossdressers for. He goes, just shut up. It's just fabric.
I mean, it is just fabric.
Let me ask you this, okay? I'm always willing to learn. I want to be the best kinkster I could be. I really do. I genuinely believe that, and I believe I'm good at it because I have the passion in me, right? So, my queen has had a very, very long week, right? And it's not over yet, but it's coming. It will be over.
Yes.
So I want to dom her, right? I've got floggers, I got paddles, I've got blindfolds, I've got restraints, closets, plural, filled with lingerie for both of us, right?
I love that it's for both.
Any ideas, Aiden Charming? The canvas is yours. How should I start? How should I enter the room and set the tone? Right? What do I do? What are some things that I shouldn't forget? What are some new things that I should consider doing?
I would say the tone gets set before you enter the room.
Yes.
Because you can, I would say, if it's already been pre-negotiated that you are going to be dominant towards her, let's say give the instruction of how she is to wait for you, how she's to be positioned, what she's to be wearing, where in the room that she's supposed to wait for you, and make her wait a bit. Build that anticipation. Whether you're a fan of eye contact restriction or not, I personally am. So I would say give the instruction to have her head bowed so that when you do walk into that room, she's not seeing you yet. She's not seeing you until you're allowing her to. So she gets that anticipation build of hearing your footsteps, knowing that your presence is in the room, but not being able to look at you. Having that build not only the submissive energy in her, but the enjoyment of that tension that builds.
Beautiful. Well said, Sir Aiden Charming. I will take you up on your advice. I do have a very similar approach, but it's going to be enhanced by your wisdom. Thank you. And I know that listeners out there are very thankful for your insight as well. So let's talk about the lifestyle bit, right? Let's talk about the lifestyle without giving too much away.
Love the lifestyle.
Living a BDSM in private life? Are you in a DS relationship, and without giving it too much away?
I am, yes. So it's kind of like a combination of private and public because most of the Phoenix community knows about my dynamic. I do have a DS dynamic. I serve a wonderful mistress, and that dynamic has been going on for almost 3 years now. And even though I am a switch, I'm strictly the submissive within this dynamic.
Okay. All right. Food.
I love food.
If you could describe your, this question is usually dominatrixes I talk to. Let's just say
it's okay.
Let's just say your style, your character, Sir Aiden Charming style, character persona. If you could describe it as a meal, what would you describe it as? What would you be and why?
I would describe it as a curry.
Yeah.
Like warm, comforting, delicious, but also will fuck you up if you add a bit too much spice.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good answer. All right, Sir Aiden Charming. You're a whimsical person. I am too. I'm a dreamer.
All the
daydreamers. Both of us.
Pisces. It's the dreamer sign.
I love that. So let's dream with me. We're connected. Let's dream together. Let's say, hypothetically, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have endless resources. You can go anywhere in the world with anybody you want and do anything you desire. What is your ultimate kinky fantasy?
Honestly, my ultimate kinky fantasy, with unlimited resources going anywhere I want, I would want to take my mistress on an all expenses paid trip to a beautiful island and serve her on a beach while she just relaxes. I would want to put sunscreen on her, massage her feet at the beach, bring her anything she desires, and just have a full service experience with her on that beach. I don't know why my mind is not going to play related things, because I feel like that's expected of this. I feel like that's what's expected of a question like this. But my kinky fantasy is just serving her on a beautiful location where both of us are enjoying ourselves and each other's connection.
It's focused. It's with a purpose, and there's beauty in the simplicity of it all. I think it's a magnificent answer. Now, rapid fire recommendations. They don't have to be kink related, but there usually are.
Let's be real, they usually are.
Dude, the last Sunday I did a weekend show, right? And it was called The Vanilla Side of Kink, or The Vanilla Side of Kinksters. And the goal of the show was I am not going to talk about kink. I'm not going to go on any tangents. Yeah, we failed at that totally. Watch the show.
Just trying to get kinksters to talk about stuff that's not kinky.
We couldn't do it. I mean, we had all this stuff, motorcycles and all this stuff. No, we ended up talking.
I literally had vanilla people in my life be like toilet coffins.
We ended up talking about toilet coffins and farting in Tupperware and mailing it to people for money.
Oh my god!
All right, rapid fire recommendations. Okay. Recommend a film.
Human Centipede.
Yes. Yeah. Oh,
I
forgot about this. We have a wait. I'm stopping. I'm holding the show for this one. All right.
Have you ever stopped a show like this before?
Yeah, for Tom Six and Human Centipede, I'm doing it. So, all right. I have a fascination with the Human Centipede movies, in the sense that, I love art. I love the energy, and it's not the Tom Six is like, I'm gonna make this crazy movie, and he just keeps on making like. Why he made the Human Centipede 3 or 2
No,
or
the first
1?
one.
Oh yes, because of a what to do as a punishment for a child molester, to show him to the anus of a fat trucker. I believe those are his words.
Yes, which is why the first one started with a fat trucker shitting in the woods.
Yes. So we're not going to get into the whole all three of them, but yeah, Tom Six is a director who's he's pushing these boundaries. And I don't even think these movies are making money, which actually adds to the charm of it. Like it adds, because there's passion, and he gets it done. He was making a documentary called "The Insanity of Making Another Movie." That hasn't been out, but there is one movie that he's trying to be a legend. He's trying to out-legend himself in the Human Centipede. Let's put it that way. And it's called the Onania Club. This is on John Waters' top movies. And this is a movie
messed with my head when I saw that, because I love John Waters so much. Like, I highly admire John Waters.
I know, he's amazing, right? I want to grow be an old cool pervert like him, like a good kind of like he's got
a
style,
fun kind of pervy uncle.
Yeah, but he's great. I love John Waters, inspiration. And but the Onania Club is basically about LA, very rich white women, I guess, in LA, who are very privileged.
I don't believe all of them are white.
Okay, maybe not. I don't know. I've not seen the movie. Not many. Not many people have seen the movie. I've seen the trailer. And basically, the trailer is these women masturbating.
After this movie, you're gonna want to watch that trailer again.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Maybe we could bring it up, but no, we'll get thrown off that. But yeah, masturbating to 9/11 and masturbating to like cancer and people on fire and stuff like that. And it turns out every time they hear something horrible happening, like she's off into the bathroom stall, touching herself. I could say something crass, but I'm not. But so there's this, of course, and I'm starting. I've watched all of the. As an edgelord, I love showing some crazy movie to somebody and be like, "Look at this!"
I do that too, honestly. I've used that.
I do.
Used the Human Centipede as a relationship test.
Yeah, I know. If you can handle this, you can handle me.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget my
just
friend
brings people together.
But there's a downside to it. My friend Sean is like, who is an old friend who's been through so much. He's like, yeah, you can just please don't send me anything that'll give me trauma.
That's the fun part, though.
I know, that's the fun part. So anyway,
it's not just giving people trauma; it's sharing the trauma.
This movie, right, has not been. They can't find a distributor. IFC won't distribute it, and the word on the street, so to speak, is that he's holding out for money. I mean, they spent a lot of money producing this movie. If you can't distribute it, it has to be worth it. It has to be making profit. And plus, the more you hold on to it, the more of a myth it becomes. Like The Day the Clown Cried, or something like that, or some movie that you never, So,
like how it took Squid Games 10 years to get released.
Let me ask you this, Sir Aiden Charming, without giving too much away. Do you know anything at all about this movie?
I do. So I actually am. So I did get permission from Tom Six way in the past to be able to say this. I am in the Onania Club.
Really?
I am.
Okay.
Yes. So the way I got into that movie is probably one of the most incredible stories of my life. I asked Tom Six on Twitter DMs if I can be in his movie. I didn't think anything was going to come of that. So when I was 21, I had a vanilla Twitter under my legal name, and I followed him because I love his movies, and he followed me back, which gave me the ability to message him. And so I messaged him saying like, hey, I'm a 21-year-old actor in Arizona. Can I audition for one of your upcoming movies? Because I saw on IMDb that he like had a few movies in the process, and he responded to me, and he said, send me a picture of you. So I sent him my like best selfies because my headshot was very old. And he was like, okay, send me a full body picture and how tall are you? So I sent him that, and I sent him my height in centimeters because I know that he is Dutch. And so I was like, I'll do the work for him to convert it. And he's like, we're shooting a cool and intense scene on this date for my upcoming film, the Onania Club. If like, let me know if you can be there. And I was like, how long do I have to get back to you on that? And so he told me 2 weeks. So I talked to my mom because I was still living at home at the time. And I was like, hey, Mom, this like famous horror filmmaker says that like if I can be there on this date, I can like do an audition Zoom call with him and like potentially be in his movie. If he says yes, can I go to like LA to do this? And my mom was like, how do you know this is real? I was like, well, he has the blue check mark on his name on Twitter back when you couldn't buy the blue check mark on Twitter. She thought it was fake. And I fully believed it. I was like messaging him. Once my mom said like, yes, you can go if you take your sister. Because she was like, if you're going to do this, you're not doing it alone. And my sister was like, well, I'm not going out there without my girlfriend, the girl that she was dating at the time, which was a really good friend of mine. So we were like all down to go. I told Tom, yes, I can be there on this day. And so instead of having me audition for this movie, he told me that his sister, Ilona Six, who is the producer of this film, would email me a film contract to like look over, sign, and that I would be in contact with the wardrobe designer to figure out what outfits to bring. Since I was only going to be there on set one day, they couldn't do like costume fittings for me or anything. So I brought my own clothes to film in that movie. And I ended up driving out with my sister. And we were totally like hesitant. So we got the call sheet the night before, and it had the address of where we were going to film. And my sister and I decided like, let's drive there, check it out. If it's legit, it'll look like what everyone expects a Hollywood soundstage to look like a studio location. It was just a house. And we were a bit like sketched out, but we were sitting in the car.
Are you allowed to say if it's the house in the trailer?
It is not the house in the trailer.
Oh, okay. All right.
It was not that house. I know what house you're talking about. It was not that. So we were sitting outside the house and just like talking to ourselves, being like, we should go back to Arizona in the morning. This is just a normal house. This is weird. And we're probably going to get like sex trafficked. So we, but as we were sitting there, our car drove up and this woman got out dressed in all black with a very like sleek ponytail. And I'm so glad that she did in that particular moment, because we were almost about to like be set on going back to Arizona in the morning. But we realized that the woman that had got out of the car was Ilona Six. Wow. And because she like lives in Amsterdam, the only reason she would be at that house would be if it was real and if we were going to film the next day.
Yeah.
And well, what the reason why I mentioned like after this interview, you're gonna want to watch that trailer again. I'm actually like for a split second, you can see me in the trailer.
What section of the trailer?
It's right as they like put on ski masks and break into a house.
Ah.
I'm wearing like a black t-shirt with a like blue overshirt. It's like a blue.
So is it safe to say you're not setting? Are you setting anyone on fire in the Onania Club?
I am not.
Okay.
I was at a point in my life I didn't even know fire play or kink in general was a thing at that point.
That's how long this movie is taking to come out.
So to put it into context, how long it's taking this movie specifically to come out, I filmed that scene in that movie when I was 21. Right now I am 30.
Okay.
So it's been 9
Well, thank
years.
you very much.
Has been
I have
filmed.
been obsessed. I've been obsessed with Tom Six, and I'm not even saying. Look, I'm not even going to say they're good or not going to say they're bad. I'm just going to say they are movies, and they definitely have an.
They are movies,
and like they. The energy behind Tom Six and what he's done, he's creating so he's doing something that no one else is doing, and you don't have to like it. It's not the point. It's not, you know,
exactly.
That's part of the joke, you know. That's part of the thing. Okay, I'm gonna ask you this before we get out of Tom Six: Human Centipede, 1, 2, or 3. Which one do you prefer?
Honestly, 1.
Okay. Yeah,
I like that it like focuses on medical realism, especially since they did consult medical professionals to devise that surgery. And also Dieter Laser, the man who played Dr. Hyder in the first one, which may he rest in peace.
I don't like human beings.
The way he approached that role and the like how he balanced the coldness of that villain, but also
chiseled face.
The reaction. Yes. He has such a striking, distinct appearance and that voice and that accent. I just love everything about him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's. Did you ever see the Daniel Tosh spoiler alert? If you get a chance, look up Daniel Tosh. I don't know if it doesn't matter if you're a fan of Daniel Tosh. If you're a Tom Six fan, yeah. And then, of course, there's a South Park Tom Six, but
yeah, there's also
saying,
the like,
rape
human
drug.
centipede menorah thing on Conan.
Oh, I didn't see that one. Oh, wow.
Yeah, they made like they had a human centipede menorah.
Since we're doing human
Conan.
centipede, before we get to kink, we got to centipede it up. We got to centipede it up.
I love centipeding it up.
What's your idea of 2? How did 2 hit you?
It honestly hit a bit personal in the sense that like I promise I'm going somewhere with that. So it's not that I want to make my own human centipede, although like since I do like suturing in sessions, I would be down. But in high school, when people found out that I honestly, yes, that's how I go about it.
Go hardcore.
But in high school, when people found out that I liked the Human Centipede movies and like genuinely enjoyed the Human Centipede, so many people were like, are you like wanting to make your own Human Centipede? Like that was a rumor that was going around my high school that I was going to make my own Human Centipede. And then the second movie came out of a guy watching the Human Centipede and made his own, and I was like, oh shit.
All right. So what was your opinion on 3?
3 was hilarious. I
thought
honestly,
it was
so campy.
It's so loud.
Yeah, Dieter yelling throughout it was the only thing that bothered me so much. But I understand why he did it. I loved that they got back Dieter Laser and Lawrence R. Harvey as other characters. Yeah, especially like my favorite part about the Human Centipede 3 is when they bring Tom Six in and he sees the Human Centipede and he just throws up.
He vomits.
Yeah, I thought that was the greatest little like add-in to that.
Okay, Sir Aiden Charming, let's make a Human Centipede. Who would be the A? Who would be the B? Who would be the C?
Let's go get political real quick, and I'm going to try not to make it political.
You could take any 3 people in the entire world, living or dead. Let's make a Human Centipede.
I'm going to assume this is
like... They might like it. This could be a fun thing. It could be a positive thing, right? Some people in the kink community...
I'm trying to think of who I would put at the head because I feel that the other 2 positions are easier to pick. But like the head is special because you don't have shit going in your mouth.
You go into the dungeon, just go through the dungeon and just say like, "You're my A, you're my B, you're my C." That's a Dom move, right?
I mean, we could pull up the Denim and Dominus website and I could pick 3 from there. But no.
I don't want to get in trouble.
No, because that'll let loose. I'd probably put my least favorite client in the middle because I do have a least favorite client, and we're not going to say who he is. I would put him in the middle because he would definitely not enjoy that. He's not into scat. She's going to kill me for this. I would put Lady Bi in the front.
I think, I mean, she wouldn't like I don't know her that much. I mean, she's been on the show. But, I mean,
she's a good friend of mine.
But would you think that she would get enjoyment out of shitting in people's mouth and having them?
I think she might.
Yeah, I mean, am I wrong? I don't know.
Like
come on the
show.
Gets
enjoyment from like. I feel like she would just. Honestly,
her and Nyx together. When I see that, her and Nyx, you know, we got her Nyx. When I see them at the torture ants, is destroying that guy.
Yes, her Aiden.
Yeah, her Aiden. Like it's fascinating, cool to watch, but it's terrifying, which is the point. Which is awesome. So job well done. Shout out to her. Shout out to Lady V.
She's incredible. She's also so fun to hang out with.
She's great on the show. I would love to have her on the show. She's, I mean, awesome. I want to be terrified. Let's terrify the audience. Go on, hail Satan. All right, where were we?
Time I did an interrogation video with her.
Oh no, what was that like?
So it was a over an hour genital torture interrogation video. And we were talking about,
that's why I'm terrified of her.
But also, we didn't plan on it being an interrogation. But
that's even funnier.
So I listed, when we were talking about filming together, I let her know, like, these are my interests, my boundaries. These are the boundaries that my mistress has for filming with me. And one of hers is that when I submit to someone on camera or in lifestyle, honestly, that isn't her, I have a collar that I wear. We call it the loner collar. It says play permitted by Vana X, letting people know that, like, he is owned, but he has permission to play. She loved that so much that she wanted to play up on the fact that I was on loan to her for that video. So my mistress offered to write a letter to kind of set the scene and also like make it known that there is permission to play with me. And something she added to that was that above all other rules, I was not to reveal my personal address. Adding that made it an interrogation video.
Yes. Wow.
And it was intense. It was one of the most intense scenes I've ever bottomed for. And it was incredible.
She is one of the most
screaming, crying.
Out of all the content I see, she's one of the most intense people.
Yeah, that's why I was terrified to play with her, but also excited.
Yeah, amazing. Please, lady, come on the show, please. Again, her show is people love it. People love the show. It's been a while. I had a liver transplant. I'm a different person. All right,
I can text her, let her know.
Please do. I'll send her an email too. Word association game. All right, I'm gonna say the first word. I'm gonna say a kink or phrase or something in the kink community. You say the first thing that comes into your mind. Okay. So if I say, oh, we didn't do rapid fire recommendations. I got to do that. Remind us. Yeah. But let's do word association game. So if I say chastity, you may say lock, right? But let's say you're thinking about let's I don't know. Let's say you're thinking about Arizona politics. You could say that. You could say, yeah, whatever's on your mind. Let's say you're thinking about sushi. Say that. There's no wrong answer. The only thing I ask is that we don't kink shame. All right, we don't kink shame. So if I say something and instead of making fun of it or saying you're a piece of shit for talking about that, just say not my thing. Then there's the jar. I don't know what's in this jar. Your piece of paper.
I'm curious to find out what's in that jar.
You're in this together, my friend. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Are you ready to go?
Yes.
Candle wax.
Sensation.
Fire.
Excitement.
Face slapping.
It's just hot.
Leather.
The smell of it.
Rubber.
The sound of it.
Riding crops.
That makes me think of my mistress.
Floggers.
Favorite implement.
Blindfolds.
I don't even know what to say about that. Those are just all around fun.
That's good. Miss Madison.
Bestie. Freaking love Miss Madison.
French maid outfits.
Cute as fuck.
Chastity. I spelled it wrong. Sorry.
Discipline.
50s housewife dynamic.
Intriguing.
Pain sluts.
Absolutely love them.
Butt boxing.
Irene Silver. Just
What?
Irene Silver. She's a femdom and also a trained martial artist who does a lot of like wrestling and boxing content. So someone like putting on boxing gloves and just like going ham on someone's ass, that makes me think of her.
Knife play.
Ooh. That's arousing.
Splashing.
Delicious.
Thigh-high stockings.
Gorgeous. Perfection.
All right, let's go into the jar.
Ooh, the jar. We get to find out what's in it.
Yes. Whipping.
High skill. Just because that's a lot of it takes a lot to get accuracy with that.
Fake eyelashes.
High maintenance. Not like the people that wear them are high maintenance, but having lashes.
No, you don't have to explain yourself.
I don't want to seem like I'm being misogynistic.
Pagan sex.
I don't even know what that is.
Sexy pagans.
I'm gonna research because I'm intrigued. Stretching. Love it.
Piss.
Not tried it, honestly.
Scat.
Not my thing, but definitely like support people who do that.
Rapid fire recommendations. They don't have to be kink related, but they usually end up. We started doing this. Recommend a film. We did that, but we didn't finish it. Recommend a song.
I can do a song. Ooh. Huh.
Doesn't have to be doesn't have to represent you as a human being. Just say, hey, Nick, you're gonna like this song.
Trying to think. I would say The Ballad of Jane Doe from Ride the Cyclone. It's such a like beautifully haunting song. And it's from a rather dark musical, but it's a beautiful song. It's called The Ballad of Jane Doe from Ride the Cyclone.
Nice. Okay. Recommend a television show.
I'd say Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. That's been like something I like recently started rewatching, and I find it incredible. I love how they took a 90s classic show that I loved as a kid and made it darker and grittier and turned witchcraft into their like religion instead of having it just be like, oh, they randomly have powers.
Recommend a meal.
Meal?
A meal they eat.
It's like actual food this time.
Yes.
Either sushi or carne asada fries.
All right. Morning ritual. These days I believe morning rituals are very important, and they really kind of affect your personality, stuff like that, and how you're acting now. You write your own narrative. You start, what I mean, in the beginning of the day. So I have my own morning rituals. I don't look at the phone. I drink water the first thing. I exercise, I meditate and stuff like that. Do you have any morning rituals that keep you who you are?
So what I like to do every morning when I wake up is I also don't look at my phone immediately, but I lay there with my I reclose my eyes and I focus on how I'm feeling, like do a body check-in and also set an intention to have a good day.
Like a consciousness, like
yeah, make a conscious choice to be determined to have a good day, whatever that day throws at me. Especially since like I kind of have a like hectic vanilla job, but like having that mindset of like today's going to be good regardless of whatever happens during it, and taking that moment to like feel how I'm feeling.
What advice would you give to yourself? What that you wish you learned sooner?
Honestly, something that I wish I would have learned sooner was to be more accepting of myself. To not like hide parts of myself just because I don't think other people will like it.
All right. We got some people. We got some comments. First of all, Aura Valdez is checking this out. Made my day. Thank you very much. Please subscribe. Please like and subscribe, everybody. And if you want, we're gonna wrap it up. But they want to do some quick word associations. You mind?
Okay, let's do it.
All right. All right. Knife play.
Exciting.
Medical play.
Invasive.
Bleeding buttocks. Buttocks. Bleeding
Beautiful.
buttocks. Beautiful. Ball gags.
Oh, it's just hot.
Teacher's pet.
Fun role play.
Fun role play. Okay. All right. We're wrapping things up. Let me get to the questions.
I love a teacher's pet.
So many. All right. We are all looking for something. Sir Aiden Charming, where do you want your kinky path to take you next?
I honestly want to lean more into kink education. I don't want to stop doing sessions, and I have no intention of stopping doing sessions, but I want to do more with kink education, like do more classes at conventions, like the one in Vegas in October. I also want to become like a big name professional, just because I don't see a lot of trans man representation in the professional BDSM world. When I started my kink journey, I wanted someone like me to look up to, and I couldn't find that. So a big reason why I became pro and what I want to continue doing is being that trans man representation.
And you're doing it well. I love what you're doing. I see what you're doing, and I get inspired. I really do.
Thank you.
I'm glad I know you. See, I'm glad you came on this show.
I'm so glad you asked.
I have a lot of friends at the Manor who I think would really benefit from your knowledge. So if you're ever in New Jersey, definitely, I think we should team up. Yeah, definitely. Take you around the world. You know what I mean? So, all right. Complete the sentence. Life is.
I would say life is whatever you make it to be.
Right on.
You choose like how you go about your life. Just because you start at a certain place in life doesn't mean that's how you're going to end. Like I started my life as a woman. I realized that that's not who I am. So life's whatever you want it to be.
Exactly. You wrote your own narrative. Thank you for coming. How can people contact you, get in touch with you? There is your website, of course.
I would say the easiest way would be to go to my website, because I do have that. If you click the more option. It's like right next to booking, the links page. So on my website, I have a links page that has my FetLife, my Instagram, and my Twitter. I'm very active and responsive on all of those. My Instagram is private, but I accept all follow requests just because I have had my Instagram taken down. I think I'm on my 4th or 5th Instagram. So I did set it to private, but don't let that discourage you from following me on there, or reaching out there, because I will accept the follow request. So
Are
on
there
my
any new
website,
platforms that we should look out for that like maybe not that is not on here that you're curious about? Blue Sky or any of that, or any new
I've
kind of
heard of
social
Blue
networking?
Sky. Honestly, for now, I do want to just stick with the ones that I'm familiar with, just because building a new social media and gaining followers on that is a lot. And I'm already cross-posting on 3 different sites. So not at this time, but I'm not closed off to adding another social media site in the future.
Well, everybody, please go to lockedinlust.com. You get 15% off all the inventory with the offer code YKF. Trust me, this is a great way to start it out. I personally like, where is it? Where's the rocket? Oh my God. They have
a rocket?
This. Yes, the crotch rocket. We call it the saddle. But if you're in chastity, if you have someone in chastity and you want to put a strap on here, you could tease them and still squirt in seconds. It's great. Get 15% off Locked in Lust and read. Support the kink community. Read books. It's so great. Reading is fundamental, people. Reading
is fundamental.
My Cash App. I'll sell you books. Look, Submissive Ants coming on the show. Read an awesome book about pony play. This is amazing. Check it out. Sarah Azizi, Make a Wish, been on my show. Read a very touching book, a very book filled with poetry, right? Melissa Todd, My Body, My Business. This is an old one, but still very relevant.
That one sounds amazing, just off the title.
Yes. And of course, if you're at a dungeon, if you're at a party, or if you're at church and you want to shake things up, there's Carly DeVille's Naughtylicious. This is an icebreaker. There's questions like here we could ask you: have you ever have you ever cross-dressed? Have you ever seen your partner cross-dressed? Like there's questions like that, stuff like that. And of course, there's my books. Please support the authors. The coolest way to kill yourself. This is a metaphor. No one kills himself in the book. This is a true love story about how I became Nicholas Tanek. It's filled with hard drugs, kinky sex, and an endless amount of music references.
It just sounds like an all-around good time.
And it's a snapshot into the New York City rave scene in the 90s. I got Scotto from NASA signed off on it. And then if you're dealing with loss, take your broken heart, make it into art, people. Your kinky friends. I wouldn't be here without the kink community. You know, I wouldn't be here for your friendship and people like Aiden and stuff like that. This is how how I gave the kink community, saved me, gave me the inspiration to write, become Nicholas Tanek, and talk to you right now. It's going to be a great week. It's Tuesday.
Set that intention for that great week.
Yeah, set out the intention. Everybody, thank you for your time, for your energy, for your attention. Please. Kink helps kink. Be cool. Be kind.
Absolutely.
Keep an open mind. Take care. Love you all. Bye.
Bye.